Hello and welcome back to the Two Guys Talking podcast. My name's Jesse,
My name's Josh.
and this is the Two Guys Talking podcast where we end racism
Today
forever.
we end racism today.
We're really excited.
I'm as you can tell, I sound a little bit under the weather. That's fine.
Yeah.
It's all okay. Nobody's gonna die.
Are you sure?
Everybody's totally fine. We're all totally 100% fine.
He's dying right now.
Totally 100% fine. No issues whatsoever.
We're going to do this. It's going to be great.
We're gonna be fine. Yeah.
Everyone's going to say, that's so great.
Everybody's gonna say that's so great. That's you stealing that from Donald Trump.
I did, yeah.
Yeah? Everybody's gonna say that's so great.
I steal most of my speech from Donald Trump.
Now, what were you saying earlier about us changing the podcast again?
I mean, it was a joke.
No, it was a joke. Okay.
Yeah, this is now the fifth rendition of the new Two Guys Talking podcast where we now talk about, I don't know.
What we want to do is we want to gain listeners,
Uh-huh.
right? Get ourselves on iTunes,
We did that.
gain more listeners,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Get a T-shirt idea out there, right?
That's
then,
out there.
And then completely change everything we're doing again.
Yep, that you got it.
We want to make sure that we gain people just to lose them by being super confusing.
I mean, I think that's really the point of the podcast game.
The point of the podcast game.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about a few things as far as like what we're working on still. You know, the same kind of
Yeah, we're gonna get back. You know, the first thing I want to get back into.
what.
I want to figure out what happened with that D&D game. I actually am on the edge of my seat. Did your piddly ass friends run away again? Did they do the thing they're supposed to do? Because you were going to that right afterwards, right?
Yeah. What do we
Last
think
time.
here? Yeah, because that was 2 weeks ago.
That was a while ago. Yeah, we
Yeah.
do this on a bi-weekly basis.
Um,
Bi-weekly.
yes, semi-annual. Wait, no, that doesn't make any sense.
Semi-annual would be maybe 4 times a year.
Welcome to our new semi-annual podcast.
Yeah, that's how we changed it. There will be you'll be lucky to get 4 a year.
If you're nice to us.
Means buy our T-shirts.
So wait, where did I leave off with what part are you curious about?
Well, so there was a beast, right?
Yeah.
And then the beast became a man, right?
I mean, kinda, yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
And
there really
there's-
wasn't ever.
There's like a group of people in a society,
Uh-huh.
and they were with this guy that was gonna
Oh, okay.
whatever,
Yeah.
and
So
there's
basically-
guards.
So basically, what ended up happening is that most of the guards left with.
Just willingly.
Well, they left.
They got
with,
distracted.
Yeah, they left with the one guy, with like the main bad guy,
Yeah.
and then like half of them stayed, and then they did end up fighting half of them, and then basically they ended up killing the big bad guy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So it all ends well.
Basically, yeah.
The bad guy's finally dead. Well, that's a good thing. You need to have the bad guy. See, this is horrible.
Sorry, I sneezed.
You're sneezing. I'm coughing.
It's not
We're
doing so
dying.
great.
We're dying.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
We're dying
Yeah.
here, folks.
Well, we got this.
This is the last podcast. Drink this one in because we're both dying. It's all over. It's all over from here.
Rest in peace, us.
Rest in peace, us.
But
It's gonna be big league.
but yeah, and then they ended up getting kicked out of that town because there was like a whole cover up. It was pretty intense.
It was pretty intense.
Yeah.
Interesting. So did it work out the way you wanted it to?
I mean, mostly, yeah.
Mostly.
Yeah.
It wasn't too bad. It wasn't like, because I know you were worried about them just running away. Or how did it go when you called the guy Dragon Batman?
He wasn't a fan of that
He
at
didn't
all.
like that?
No, he really did not like that.
Does he listen to the podcast?
Oh, he has no idea.
He has no idea.
Yeah.
Dragon Batman. With I believe I called it last time intimidating punch or magic punch.
Yeah, magic
Punch
guy.
to the face.
You know, to his credit, though, he has not tried to punch his way through everything as of late. Although, literally, the last game we played, all they did was try to, like, shop for magic items, which, like, doesn't make any sense in my personal opinion, but, you know, whatever.
He's a dragon.
Yeah.
He's a Dragon Batman.
Dragon Batman.
So you said people call you Dragon Batman, and his response was what? He just was angry.
Basically, I just kept on calling him Dragon Batman and having all the characters refer to him as Dragon Batman. And he didn't enjoy that at all.
Good. Well, you know what? That's what he gets for ripping off a beloved comic book hero
Exactly.
named Dragon Batman, who we've all definitely read about.
We've all read all the Dragon Batman comics that exist.
Speaking of comics, two things. One, have you seen Legion yet?
No, is it good?
It is great. You need to watch it.
I have plans to. I just never got around to it. I don't know.
I'm never 100% sure what's happening. Like not what's happening, if what's happening is real or not. Like the show is based in a sense
Well, like,
of like
he's like
is
that
this real or
crazy.
not real? Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. The character Legion in the comic books, it has like multiple personalities.
Yeah.
And schizophrenia. So he's like legit crazy.
Yeah.
So this stuff, you never know if what he's doing is real or not real. Is this person real or not real? Did he make this person up?
Wait. Let me just backpedal a little bit. We need to end the mental health stigma, Josh.
Oh, yeah?
He's ill.
He's ill.
Not crazy.
He's diseased.
Yeah.
He's taking medicine.
No, but seriously, he's nuts.
He's nuts.
Yeah. But yeah, I saw like Aubrey Plaza's in it, which is kind of cool.
She is. Yeah, she plays. God, I forget her name already.
Yeah, I don't really know. I just saw that she was in it. I don't
She
know how
dies
much-
in the first episode,
Okay. Really?
but she comes back. Like she's basically in his head. So like she's always there, kind of thing.
Interesting. Okay. Anyway, what were we talking about? Comics?
But in real life, she dies. Like she's actually dead right now.
Shit.
They killed her in real life,
That makes sense.
just to make it seem more believable.
So if I see her like from now on, is she actually in my head?
Yeah, she's in your head. If you see Aubrey Plaza anywhere,
Uh-huh.
post when I tell you this, you're crazy.
Okay.
All
That's
right.
fair.
Just so you know. But speaking of comics, you had mentioned to me, Jesse, that
Yeah.
a while ago you and one of your friends,
Uh-huh.
who will be named Scott, just for purposes
Yeah,
of,
for-
let's just call him Scott.
Yeah, let's call him Scott for now.
Yeah. Started writing or conceptualizing
Uh-huh.
a comic. Is this correct?
Yeah. I mean, we kind of talked about it briefly.
So you and him were conceptualizing a comic about a bad guy. Is that right?
Essentially, yeah.
Um,
Like it was going to be focused on like a villain.
A murdersome villain.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I wouldn't really call him murdersome.
a
but yeah,
murdersome villain. I'm
potentially-
going to call him
potentially
that.
murdersome.
Murdersome villain.
Yeah.
So you had said something to me about that, and
Uh-huh.
you guys kind of stopped. You and this,
Hammer
we'll
film.
call him Scott,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
We're gonna call him Scott. You and this Scott had stopped doing the process, or got to the middle of it and or didn't write anything down, or
it just never really materialized.
It never
into
materialized.
anything, as things often do.
because this person who we will continue to name Scott. I'm now air quoting
This
Scott.
this aforementioned Scott person.
Scott wanted him to be too evil, is what you were mentioning to me.
I mean, I feel like that's kind of the direction he was going, but you
Yeah.
know.
He just wanted a story about killing people. This Scott, if
Yeah.
you were.
I mean, kind of. Yeah. I don't know. I think there was more to it than just killing people, but. I mean,
Yeah, I'm going to say it isn't. Anyway, you brought this to me, and we started talking about it a little bit,
Mhm.
and like throwing ideas off, each other to
Yeah.
see if we can maybe move this forward. Now, neither Jesse or I have the ability to draw. All right.
Yeah. So
if
you're an artist, that would be helpful.
Yeah. So
get in on the ground level now.
get on the ground level. On the ground level, we'll explain it to you, the
Uh-huh.
thought process, right?
Yeah.
So we have a main character. We don't have a name for this main character
Yes,
yet.
We're going to call
Right,
him Scott.
This Scott, if you will. That'd actually be a good homage, right?
We could make the name
Yeah.
character Scott.
We could, yeah. This main character gets some like parasite or alien kind of thing, and I was actually thinking when I was thinking about this, I would think it'd be cool if this alien was more like a bacteria, like a virus, because the parasite stuff's been done a ton of times. Like the
Yeah.
Venom or the Carnage or anything like that, or actually the anime called Parasite, right? I don't know if
I've
you've
never
ever seen.
I've heard of it, never
Yeah.
seen it.
So same deal. So let's say, for instance, it's instead of being like a parasite or a leech or something that goes inside of you, like it still goes inside you, but it's like a bacteria or a virus. It's almost like cells, a cellular structure kind of thing,
Yeah, I
but
gotcha.
sentient, so it
Yeah.
can talk to let's call the main character Scott.
Yeah.
It could talk to Scott in his head and like kind of you were saying like almost ask him to use the powers it would give him.
Yeah, kind of. Like, you ever hear like Blue Beetle?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Kind of like that. I'm thinking more. It's probably like the Young Justice Blue Beetle, but like that was kind of the same thing. Like it was. I wouldn't call it like a parasite, but it was like this machine that was like in his back, and he would like talk to him and say, "Hey,
Yeah.
use my powers."
Right. We got to do this or go do this or
Yeah.
Blue Beetle was fighting like this alien technology who wanted him to like maybe be a little bit harsher.
Yeah,
Do a
yeah.
little bit meaner things.
Yeah, he was pretty
than
bloodthirsty.
than the child in Young Justice wished to be, which in all honesty was portrayed as a child, like 13 to 14-year-old child
Yeah.
who could not even drive yet.
Oh my god.
If you remember that
making
correctly.
him Hispanic too, and Blue Beetle. Damn it, we just made Blue Beetle.
We just made Blue Beetle.
God damn it.
Well, Young Justice Blue Beetle.
Yeah, essentially.
Well, we were talking about possibly making him Hispanic or some minority because I think that'd be nice because we, for the most part, the world is full of white characters, superheroes these days.
Yeah.
Everybody's a whole white. Nobody's a whole black.
Well, I mean,
Nobody's-
there's a few black superheroes.
Nobody's colored.
Yeah, there's no colored people in comics.
No
at all.
colored people.
Yeah.
They're all bad
Black
guys.
Panther's actually a white guy.
Yeah, under all that stuff, it's a lot of makeup.
Well, lots of makeup. Kind of racist makeup.
So anyway, we were talking about that, and we actually were in the midst of even talking about what type of powers and what type of trials and tribulations this character would face. One of the things I threw out to you was that he's we were talking, and you said he's in a society where there are other heroes and other villains and stuff like that.
Yeah, my kind of vision for it is that they could live in a world where there's heroes and villains and everything in between, and maybe the heroes aren't all they're cracked up to be, and maybe the villains are kind of not really. I haven't given too much thought to the other villains, to be completely honest. But
Yeah, I haven't really given too much thought to the other villains because in my head, what I thrown out to you is that the heroes, we come to find out, are kind of almost in league with mafioso or like the gangs, organized crime in the sense of like the seedy underbelly is, hey, we're gonna stop crime and we're gonna fight these villains, right? But you small time guys are the drugs. Selling the drugs and doing illicit stuff, gambling and whatnot, and making money. You pay us some money, right? And we'll kind of ignore you because we can, because we're if something happens, like say for instance, a day comes where in the morning there's some illicit gang activity on the corner, right? And I'm as a superhero, I see that happen, but then I also see a guy who's half scorpion taking over a tower somewhere. Well, obviously the news media wants me to take care of Scorpion Man and is less worried about you. So I'm not
the fake news media.
Right, the fake news media. So I won't be in trouble if I go after Scorpion Man and leave you alone, right? But the heroes have basically said to these people, okay, so here's what we'll do. Since we're not going to go after you, and we could, they kind of threaten them, we could go after you too, right? Because we're superhuman. We could do both. We don't have to stop. You're not superhuman. We could destroy you in 2 seconds, then go get that Scorpion Man, right? So we're going to leave you alone.
Now there has to be a Scorpion Man.
Yes, right. Yeah, out of nowhere I made that. So you're going to pay us, though, like a protection fee almost, for us not to hurt you or allow you to operate in the way you operate.
The heroes are becoming the organized crime for the organized crime.
Right.
Okay.
So what basically ends up happening is one of my plot lines I was thinking of, I threw out to you, is one of the main heroes, right? One of the big heroes.
Yeah.
He breaks up basically gets on the news because he breaks up a drug, like a raid kind of thing, breaks up like a whole warehouse full of drugs or whatever.
Yeah,
and it's for the mafia that he's or the gang that he's protecting. This gang gets all pissed off, like, why did you do this? And he's just basically like, look, you have to have casualties. Like, I can't let this go on for forever.
Yeah.
Like, I have to do it. And he thinks he's above it. He's like, just give me my money still. Kind of bullying him, right?
Yeah.
And so the gang decides, oh, well, we need to fight back. And the way they fight back is serendipitous because our main character, who's just a normal guy, also may or may not have had a gambling situation or a gambling problem, right?
Okay.
And the bookie he goes to make up his money, right, says, "Look, man, I don't control the money, right? This gang does. Like I'm just around. I'm just here, right? So I can't really give you, tell your debts are paid because they're not. Like I don't control that. So go talk to these people." But when he goes talks to those people, this is them coming fresh off of getting yelled at by this person.
Yeah.
So they feel like, oh, this is a weak nobody, right? They don't know he has powers at this point because they don't know he has this whatever in him. And so they're like, we're going to teach him a lesson. So they go to like beat him up or whatever, and he shows them his powers, how strong he is. And then they realize, oh, he kind of wants to work for us.
Yeah.
So they decide to use him to say, okay, well, your debts will be paid if you help us beat up this one guy. They don't tell him this one guy's like this main hero, right? They invite the hero back to get in this fight with his, our main character. And our main character like doesn't really want to fight him. He's like, I'm not here for all that.
Yeah.
I'm not here for like I just want to do my thing and pay off my debt. And I don't want to fight him. Basically, this whole time, our main character's like, I don't want to fight him. I don't want to fight him. Our hero's like you will fight me. You're here, like you think you're better than me, right? Like you find out this main hero has like a complex, like nobody's better than me. I'm the best, right? Because that's how he's been the whole time, right? Yeah. He's Donald Trump with a cape, right? Yeah. It's gonna be big time. Yeah. And
let's call him Big Time.
What's that?
Let's call him Big Time.
I actually like that. That's not a bad name.
Yeah.
It's not a terrible name.
Yeah.
Not a terrible name. Anyway, write it down. Big Time and Scott. That's the name of Big Time and Scott. So anyway, Scott, I'm going to call him that now. I'm just going to call everybody that. Scott is fighting Big Time and kind of just like deflecting his blows or whatever. And one of my things I had talked to you about is what I would like his powers to be is me ripping off from my Sky Pirates thing, which is dead.
the Sky Pirates.
The powers of my main character from that one, which is like electrical based. In the sense of like, wouldn't it be cool if he could like almost turn off electrical stuff or turn off people or like make people go to sleep or like turn off powers? Like he can vibe with your frequency almost. Whereas like this Big Time character comes in to like punch him or hit him or whatever, and he just like basically says like enough and turns the power off to everything. He doesn't kill Big Time, and he kills some of the mafia guys because he does it like he's just out of control. But like I was thinking the Scott character, right? Yeah. The virus that's inside of him, which we got to name that something too, right?
We do. Yeah.
The virus that's inside of him, it wants to get out of him to take over Big Time. Like it just got into Scott because it was convenient, and he needed to find somebody to power himself enough till he found one of these heroes, and he was going to jump out of him to get to this Big Time character when they were fighting, but when like Scott lets off this like power kind of thing, they like bond, right? Yeah. And that's something that's super, super rare in this virus's like home world. Like it's very rare to bond with your host, where like you share one consciousness. Okay. And like that happens for a split second, and in that split second, that's when Scott turns everything off, kills some of the mafia people with the power. Like it's a power that's never been unleashed before. It's super, super rare. So then the virus decides to stay in him. And basically, long story short, the comic starts taking place of like Scott realizing all these heroes are actually douchebags.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's got to be one or two of them that aren't. But like basically every hero is like an ass clown. Yeah. Right? And him going about like doing what he thinks is justice by showing these people for frauds, but no one believes him. Everybody's just like, yeah, no, why would we? He saved the city countless. Yeah. You're a dick.
Basically.
Right. So, like, he can never get the upper hand.
I mean, I could see that. I mean,
eventually what were you thinking?
Have to.
What were you thinking? Because that was just me railing on what I thought about it for a while.
I mean,
because we haven't really talked about it too much.
No, yeah, I mean, I agree with you for the most part. I guess I don't know if I want him to be I still kind of want him to be a villain, more or less. But just like I kind of want to make the heroes almost worse a little bit. Just kind of, I don't know. Like I basically want to make the heroes into hypocrites, essentially.
How so? Like the same thing I was saying?
Yeah, more
Or like
or
they're
less.
getting like kind of paid?
Yeah.
See, I like the idea of like the reader knows they're hypocrites, and the reader knows they suck, and the reader knows why the main character is doing this, right? But everybody in the story is like, well, he's the bad guy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
He can't be the good guy. Those are the good guys, and he's fighting them
Yeah.
/ killing them, right?
Yeah.
Like sooner or later, he gets like maybe I wasn't that quite there yet, but something happens where he gets to the point where he uses his power too seriously and like kills one of them, you know,
Yeah, I mean,
and that becomes like a big deal.
I could see that. I mean,
Mhm.
like I don't know if I can make like a vision for it or not, but like, I basically like want the heroes to be largely incompetent.
Largely
Uh,
incompetent.
Yeah, I mean, like they'll still be able to like save the world and stuff like that, but like they don't give a fuck about like anyone else really, except for other heroes and other superpowered people.
Oh, so you want them to be like, do you want them to be ambivalent towards people, or do you want them to be like
Well, I want
they're
them
all
to, like,
better than everybody?
Like they want to look good and
Yeah.
stuff like that, like, and they like want to do, and so like in order to look good, they will like, I don't know, save the world or like stop other bad guys and stuff.
Scorpion Man.
Yeah, Scorpion Man.
If we have ever make this comic, I have really pigeonholed us into the Scorpion Man character.
Yeah, I mean the Scorpion Man's gonna be a thing.
You know what we need to do is we need to make him and then do like that thing they do in anime sometimes where like you talk about this guy, and then you just one-shot him, right? He's just like, oh, Scorpion Man. Somebody just like punches him in the face and he's dead immediately.
Oh, you mean like it's the whole like the cycle of anime where it's like, oh, this person's so powerful, but then like the main character comes along and like fucking destroys him.
Yeah, either the main
Like,
character or the main bad guy comes along and just whoops his ass in no time.
Dude, do you remember you watched Dragon Ball Z, right?
Hell yeah, I watched Dragon Ball Z.
Do you remember when like Frieza was coming back with his dad and like they
Yeah.
were like, oh, Frieza's even more powerful and his dad's even more powerful.
Yeah.
And then he like lands and then Future Trunks just gets there and like kills them in like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
That was I bet pissed me off.
He cuts him up into tiny pieces and then explodes him with like a.
Is that really what it was? I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, no.
what
So
happened.
he's fighting Frieza, and he uses his sword, and he cuts him up into a bunch of pieces, and then he energy blasts a bunch of pieces, and then Frieza's dad gets all like scared,
Yeah.
and then sad, and then angry, and then just leaves.
Oh really?
Yeah, Frieza's dad never actually fights. Like he just leaves.
For some reason I thought he like fought.
No, he just leaves. He goes very well and leaves.
Jesus.
That's what it basically
I just
devolves to.
remember it like took like all of 5 minutes and I was like, oh, okay. So that's what's gonna happen now. Yeah, I mean, I think definitely I need to think more about like where I want like the comic to be and stuff like that. So
Well, I mean, I already wrote it for you. And you heard me
You
say all
did.
the stuff. I did all of it. So I'm just going to go ahead and steal your idea,
okay, that's fine.
and I'm going to use it for my own profit.
It's copyrighted. so good luck.
It's copyrighted by you and this Scott character, who
By you and the aforementioned Scott.
yeah, whoever Scott is,
Yeah,
who could be anybody,
you
right?
really, you could
That's
live-
not somebody's actual name.
Yeah.
Scott could be anybody. It's a general name, like a John Doe type situation. Scott.
Yeah, it's just the Scott.
It's just Scott.
No one knows who he actually is.
His last name's definitely not Fessler.
No, God no. That'd be ridiculous. So the Sky Pirates are dead, huh?
Yeah. So transition, right?
Yeah.
Good segue.
Yeah.
Sky Pirates are dead. I really don't want to write that anymore, right?
Okay.
I ever since you brought up this comic book idea, that's really all I've been thinking about.
Okay.
As you could tell from how much layer upon layer I got on this fucking thing right now that I'm
Yeah.
talking to you about. So I was thinking about that a lot, and I started doing more research for the pirate thing that's like Uncharted, searching for a MacGuffin and whatever. And I got some ideas for that, and basically like the main character who's going to be a mystic from India. I know what his power is going to be. I'm going to name his power the Ishana, and that's like after a very old ancient magical being in Indian lore, right? And I discovered that what I think I want to do is I want to make it a visible transition for him from a kid who has powers
Uh-huh.
to an adult who's a badass, right? So that visible transition on his side is going to be his eyeballs. Basically going to steal. If you ever saw Naruto, right?
Yeah.
In Naruto, the clan Sasuke's from, right?
Yeah, they have the.
They have the eyeballs,
fucking,
right?
What's it called? It's gonna bother me now.
It's going to bother you.
Yeah, it's a something gun.
Yeah.
Sharingan. That's what.
Yeah,
it
the
is.
Sharingan. So like their eyes slowly become like look different as they master this power,
Yeah.
right? So that's what I decided I'm going to do with this, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to do like basically he's going to have gold eyes, right?
Yeah.
In the beginning, it's just one eye that's gold, and then slowly it becomes an eye and a half, and then both eyes kind of thing. And then his pupils change a little bit, and he gets like a red ring in the middle of his pupils. But
So is it like permanent or only when he's using?
it ends up becoming permanent,
Okay.
right? So once he fully masters it, he's just
Uh-huh.
that's just the way his eyes look. Now, which lends itself. The reason I like that, which lends itself to the credence of what I'm trying to do, is make him into a badass, right? So basically, it lends itself to at the end of the story, when you see like just these golden eyes with this red thing in the middle, which is bright, you're like, oh shit, he's here,
Yeah.
right? Like shit's about to go down. So it lends itself to
Shit's
that where
popping off.
you don't even really have to say much. You just have to say like, oh, they see them in the distance,
Yeah.
and he's coming, right? And but what I wanted to do is, since he's a kid and he doesn't know any better about these mystical powers, is it just basically helps him do the stuff you see in Uncharted. So you know in Uncharted, have you played the games before?
Very briefly.
Well, you know in Uncharted, there's a lot of things in those video games where like you're jumping from like crumbling rock to crumbling rock, or
Yeah.
like jumping. You're like the one part where you're dangling off of a cliff on a train,
Yeah.
and you're basically running up the train as the train's falling, and like there's really no logical way to say like, oh, you're just randomly
That's
hitting the
happening.
exact
Yeah.
right times.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, like this thing fell, but that thing fell. So my thought process is, what if this thing manifests itself first to him as a kid, in like, since it's eye related, it's like almost showing him where to go to receive either the least amount of damage or keep him safe. So like a rock's falling this way, and like it highlights this rock that he can jump onto. So it's basically telling him how to survive. So like step one of this whole thing
Yeah.
is basically this power keeping him alive and helping him do like incredible things that normally a normal person wouldn't do.
I gotcha.
He
So
doesn't
it's
under-
kinda like an augmentation of
Right.
his physical abilities.
Right, so he doesn't understand what it is. And then as he slowly starts to master it, it becomes even more than that, where he can like, you know, control stuff and pull stuff towards him, and like he becomes more of a mystic, much like that mother character is at the end.
Yeah.
When at the beginning of the story when she dies, where I actually am going to have her be able to manipulate like land mass.
Wait,
And, like,
mother dies?
yeah,
How'd she die?
I said that in like the first episode.
Oh,
Remember that?
I wasn't listening.
No.
That'd be ridiculous.
So she dies because like she's, you know, in charge of this clan.
Yeah.
And like I was saying, like people just keep trying to raid her and pillage it and try to like they're trying to basically steal mystics
Okay.
from this land, because they're like, oh, if I have a mystic on my crew on a ship or in my like warring party or army, I'll be seen as more powerful or more scary because, you know, there's not a ton of mystics in the world, right?
Yeah,
So I'll
yeah.
get one, I'll control him or her, and then I'll have like this power, right?
Gotcha.
And she is constantly, her and her other mystics are constantly beating off these, you know, attacks. Like nobody ever beats them.
Yeah.
And then finally somebody kills her and beats them and takes all these people away. And for a while, people think that this kid, our main character, is the one who betrayed Mother, because he had just gotten there.
Yeah.
He was only there for like a year or two.
Yeah.
And before that, it never worked. And then he's there, and then it works.
Hmm.
And he's one of the people that gets actually taken by some people as well.
And didn't you say, actually, now that you mentioned it, didn't you say it was actually somebody else who betrayed her?
Right, it'll end up being somebody else, and then he ends up finding it out later. And it's somebody that he just ends up, you know,
Murdering.
killing very easily. Because he could have the whole time, he just didn't know it was this person.
Yeah.
He didn't know this person did it. He could have done it whenever he wanted to.
Now they gon' die.
Now they gon' die.
Now they gon' die.
So how's
Axiom.
how's Axiom coming? How's your story going?
It's coming along. It's kind of. I've been actually thinking a lot more about like the characters and stuff like that. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out what, like how I want to do, like the whole like technomancy thing. And I don't know
Yeah.
if it's something I like. I don't know if it's. It's kind of hard to. I don't know if I want to go in a different direction for it now, honestly.
Why is that? What do you mean get different direction?
Because I'm also working on like a sci-fi type deal.
Yeah.
and that's gonna be. And so I don't know if I want to just like remove the whole aspect of technomancy entirely.
What's this sci-fi? What do you mean sci-fi deal? Like a whole other story?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know if I want to like put that there, because like the whole thing, like I don't know, like most of the like the rest of the world is all like I guess I don't know. I can't talk apparently. I can't talk.
Are you sleepy?
No, I think my allergies are real shitty today.
Your allergies?
Yeah.
You gotta take some allergy medicine.
I know. I need some
Some
that
Claritin?
Sudafed.
Sudafed,
Claritin
Claritin.
would be good.
What are some other ones? Benadryl. Let's just throw them all out there so that we can maybe get some sponsorships. Some free Claritin.
we're
You know,
sponsored.
hey, Claritin, if you want to sponsor us. Actually, you know what? Claritin, anybody that's listening, I will do anything for money. All right?
Literally.
Literally anything. Like if Vladimir Putin listens to this and called me up right now and said, I need you to talk about Russia and how nice we are to people for 20 minutes.
How we totally don't hate gay people.
I would say, first of all, Russia's a great place to go. 1-800-RUSSIA. Book your trip now.
Especially if you're a journalist.
Especially if you're a journalist who enjoys keeping their own thoughts and writing things down and also keeping their own head.
Yes. No, I mean, I just don't think it exactly fits in. But at the same time, like, there's, like, I want my story to have, like, a modern overtone. So
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of hard to, like, that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Yeah.
So.
Modern overtones.
Well, like, because, like, you know, part of the story
take
takes
place in America now.
Correct.
Okay.
I mean, some of it takes place in, you know, fucking crazy places that no one's ever seen or heard of before. But
Right. The you mean the Axiom, right?
yeah.
The
well, like
other
the whole-
worlds you're talking
yeah,
about.
like the,
right?
you know, pandemonium and stuff like
Right.
that.
Which is fine, but then one of the worlds that it takes place in is America now.
Yes, correct. So, like, and that's kind of like where, like, I'll probably still use it. I don't know.
I like that idea for the comic book too. That's what I was thinking too.
What, technomancy?
It takes place in America now.
Oh, okay.
Like there's no like it's in a world where you have to it's basically like Marvel or DC.
Mhm.
You have to accept that this world exists with your Spider-Mans and your Aquamans and whatever.
So wait, so Spider-Man's going to be in our comic book?
Spider-Mans.
Spider-Man's and Aquaman's?
Yeah.
We're going to make DC and Marvel come together.
We are. Spider-Mans, Aquamans, Spider Aquamans,
Spider-Girls.
Aqua Spider-Mans.
Aqua Spider-Man. There are aqua spiders, so I guess that would make sense.
So what are you struggling with right now? Just trying to figure out if you want to have this
Yeah.
Technomancer thing.
Well,
And explain out this Technomancer thing. What do you mean when you say Technomancy? What do you mean by that?
so it's basically like a guy who controls, like, machines, essentially.
Okay.
More specifically, like, computers. And, like, the whole, like,
Every machine or just computers? Just really computers?
yeah, more or less, like, anything that kind of, like,
And like the internet?
yeah.
Can he see the internet? He or she? Like and then manipulate it as they see fit?
Kinda, yeah. Like, the whole, like, my whole idea with it is, like, you know, if you're a technomancer, you can go inside a machine and kind of make it do whatever you want, up to
Okay.
its capabilities.
Okay.
But at the same time, like, I also have this idea that, like, all/most machines kind of overlay with, like, this technoverse type thing.
Oh, so there's a whole other universe we're talking.
Kind of, not really a whole other universe, but, like, kind of like that's where, like, the technomancer would use, like, they would go to the technoverse kind of with their mind or what have you.
Yeah.
And that's how they'd be able to control
The computer, the machine, the internet, whatever.
Like, right now, I think the thing, I'll post it.
How do
on
they
our
use it?
website, but
There you go, post it.
Yeah, like, right now, the thing I have is, like, the two main characters walk in.
Let's call
And-
one of them Scott.
Yes, yeah, one of the characters is Scott, and the other main character walk in.
Also Scott.
Also, Scott and Scott walk in, and they meet Techno Scott, and he has a bunch of, like,
This shouldn't be this funny. Like, this is why our podcast will never get off the ground, right? Because this is a really, 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 really inside joke that you, me, and maybe two other people are ever going to get.
Scott, Techno Scott. I have to make him listen to this episode now.
It's Scott. This one, the one we talk about, we call the last one the one we talk about Jack Sparrow. This is the one we talk about Scott.
The one we talk about Scott. Is that going to be the naming convention, like Friends?
Yeah.
Anyway, so no, I mean like basically like when they walk in, the guy Carlos is his name, has like all sorts of like computers running, and he has like all sorts of printers printing out
Yeah.
all this stuff. And really, what he's trying to do is he's like doing calculations on the kind of like what's going on in the fantastical world.
Pandemonium, you mean?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
Because like there's all this like upheaval with the two assassin guys coming over and all this other stuff.
Right. You had said about that, the two assassin guys coming for main character Scott.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, main character Scott. But yeah, I mean, and that's kind of like, and I guess it may, I realized whenever I said that they're doing calculations, like it just doesn't make any like. It's almost like the equivalent of like somebody like just tapping on like a keyboard in like old bad '80s movies.
Yeah, no, that's one of my favorite. That's one of. I'm glad you brought that up. That's one of my favorite tropes in like '80s movies or like any. You know what's really good at that? Have you ever seen the movie Swordfish with
No.
Hugh Jackman
No, I've never seen
and John Travolta? And it's about hackers, and they do that thing. It's just constant, and it's so good.
Like they're just
It's
typing in like strings of characters
Yeah.
that make no actual sense.
Right. There's no. I'm sure. My hope is the director was like, "Okay, I need you to just tap on the keyboard," and Travolta's like, "Got it, done." And then the director's like, "No, just tap. No, John, just tap on. You're not actually one of the hackers, John. Just tap on it like you don't know what. You're gonna keep going. All right. So everybody else is gonna have to do more of this,
It's gonna be all this. Just
right? So we don't have a choice anymore.
Just slam your fingers
'Cause
down on the
he's
keyboard.
he's not supposed to know what he's doing in the movie, and it looks like he just decided he does. So we're gonna need all of you guys to just. It reminds me of when it's Sean and I at where we used to work, where we go mouse, keyboard, mouse, to pretend we're working.
Mouse, keyboard. I forgot about that.
Yeah. So hey, good, helpful hint for anybody that's working in an office setting. If you're ever worried about making sure you're look like you're working hard, just sit in your office if nobody can hear you and say mouse as you move your mouse around. Keyboard as you type. Mouse, keyboard.
I'm definitely doing that tomorrow. Just so you know.
Mouse, keyboard.
Let me just hack in here with my power glove.
Do you have a power glove? Man, I really want a power glove.
Did you ever see Kung Fury?
Kung Fury?
Yeah.
Probably
It's
not.
like it's kind of like it's like 30 minutes long, and it's made by like I think it's made by the Lonely Island guys.
I have not seen it.
So funny.
Yeah.
It's on Netflix. I'm pretty sure.
I'll have to.
Yeah,
I have it on with the nice Xfinity. I can talk into my remote now, and it gives me Netflix.
Oh really?
Yeah, Netflix is on
that's pretty
Xfinity.
sweet.
I say Netflix, and it comes up.
Yeah, I can do that now too.
Yeah,
I just got a smart TV.
you just got a smart TV.
Yeah, it's sweet.
Nice. Is it one of those curved ones?
No, those are
No.
fucking
Bajillion dollars.
like literally bajillion dollars.
All right, so right about like almost 40 minutes.
Okay.
So unless you got other stuff you want to add for your Axiom stuff,
I mean, not
because
really.
I know you said you're working on that other sci-fi thing you're working on. Are you working that
That's
in
I'm like barely working on that. That's
say
more of like
in tandem with, or
yeah, like I have wrote like a few pages for it.
do you feel like you're gonna abandon the Axiom in favor of that, or is this
No,
just?
not at all. I definitely want to do both, and I actually have a third project I want to do as well.
Oh wow! Other than the comic, see, this is why I
Yeah.
have so much information about the comic, and you have nothing, because you've been sitting on your laurels. You're resting on your Scott laurels.
Yeah, I mean, basically, I don't know. I mean, I definitely am interested in working on the comic more, and I'll flesh a few more things out with that, like now that we've talked about it more. But
And I've given you all the good ideas,
yes, you've given me all the great ideas.
all of them. Big league,
Big. Wait, what?
big league. I've given you them big league. Big league.
Like Big Lee, like Trump?
No, big league, like Trump.
Oh,
Big league. My ideas are big league.
I think it's Big Lee.
Big Lee?
Yeah.
He says big league?
Yeah.
I thought he says big league.
No, it's Big Lee.
What?
Yeah,
He does not say
B-I-G-L-Y.
big league. He says big league.
No, Dude, I'm telling you, it's
Bigly.
That's the whole thing.
A
It's
made-up
joke.
word? He's saying a made-up word?
Yeah, that's the whole thing.
The President of our United States of America is saying a made-up word.
Yes. Yeah,
Okay, you know what? It's plausible, so I'm going to believe you.
yeah, it's super plausible. But yeah, man, this was fun.
This was fun. 40 minutes of me talking most of the time.
I mean, that's fine. You know, I talked. I
And
said what I had to say.
You're going to see on our website, so go to that twoguystalkingpodcast.com.
Yes.
You're going to see
Two guys.
you're going to see this episode. You're going to see Jesse post his thing about techromancy,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that
I'll
chapter
put-
or whatever.
I'll post a whole different thing about the magic system that I'm working on.
There you go. So you got
That'll
that.
be
You're going to hopefully see. I should upload.
That'll be on there by Friday. I'm gonna give myself a deadline so I
All
can
right.
do it.
I should put both of the shirt options
Oh yeah, for
that
sure.
I made up, which is twoguystalkingpodcast.com. It says on it, and then below it says, "Let us put our podcast inside you."
Yes.
One's
inside
bright
you.
green and one's gray with bright green. I think maybe the gray is going to be a better seller,
Yeah.
seeing as how it's a little less harmful on the eyeballs
Yeah.
than the bright green one
It
is.
doesn't like accost you.
It doesn't physically accost your senses
Yeah.
right when you see it.
Exactly.
So it'll probably be a little bit easier. Go to twoguystalkingpodcast.com. Follow us on Twitter
Yes.
at Joshua Gauker and at Ceci Jwinson.
Ceci Jwinson.
At Ceci Jwinson. Both of those things are on twoguystalkingpodcast.com. Find us on Facebook, Jesse Swinson.
Yep.
Just look for that. Look for Josh or Joshua Gauker. Either or is going to find me. You're going to see posts about us linking stuff to YouTube, to iTunes. Find us on iTunes, Two Guys Talking Podcast.
Yeah, we're on iTunes.
We're on
That's the
iTunes
thing.
now.
Was that a thing from last episode? I don't think it was a thing.
No, we didn't tell people that we were on iTunes. We had
Yeah,
just
we're on iTunes.
Yeah, we're on iTunes now. Like they didn't know we had
It's a
gotten
thing.
that post credit,
Okay.
post credendum,
Yeah, that
as
makes
it were.
sense.
So we're on iTunes now. Get us on iTunes. Leave reviews.
Yeah.
Subscribe.
If you hate us, just tell us. That's fine.
Yeah, I would love, if anybody's listening to this still, I know this is a little late, but if any haters or trolls are still listening, please feel free to tell us how, I said this
However
once
you
before,
want.
how fat we both sound. You sound fat.
Wait, people told us we sound fat?
No, I just thought it'd be funny.
I mean, yeah, that would be kind of funny.
So, leave comments, reviews. Let us know what's going on. Tell us what you want to hear next. Tell us you'd spend $20 on a shirt. The shirt is nice. It's of high quality. It's good shirts.
Big.
Good shirts. Bigly.
Bigly.
I can't. Bigly. I still can't. I'm going to have to talk this out. Bigly? Are you
Yeah.
sure it's Bigly?
I'm positive.
You're positive.
Yeah.
You've never been more sure about anything in your life.
Pretty much now. Yeah.
Even the fact that you want to marry Christina is secondary to how sure you are, he says Bigly.
Yeah, it's probably tertiary.
Tertiary. Oh my God, it's not even. All right. So thank you guys for listening.
Yes.
Go to the website, follow us, Facebook, YouTube, iTunes, all the stuff, all the things. We should probably put this at the beginning of
Yes.
episodes instead of end. All the things. Do all the things. Maybe bookend it.
Yeah.
Beginning and end. Make
Maybe
people
we'll-
deal
yeah.
with it.
Maybe we'll edit like in a little break. Because I actually want to get like some sort of like theme, not like theme music, but
We do need theme music. If anybody out there knows how to put theme music together that's specifically techno based and has the name Scott in it at any Scott. How this episode went way off the rails.
Scott Storm.
Scott Storm. Well, no, you know what you gotta do is you gotta do Scott Storm V1 because we're gonna do this again.
Yeah, it's
It'll
gonna
happen
happen.
again, right? Hey, thanks everybody for listening.
Yes.
And until next time, have a better one.
Have a better one, everyone.
Yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
hit the stop button in time.
Okay.
I was too busy pointing at you. I'm
Have
sorry.
a better one.